Hola a todos. Today I'm gonna speak in English because for me it's much easier to express myself in English, obviously. I'm not that good at Spanish now. And today I wanted to talk about three methods that I have been implementing in my routine to learn Spanish, which I consider to be real game changers for my learning process and which are not a chore for me. So I have been doing this. I have been implementing these methods in a natural way, and I don't really even notice that it's a learning process. And hopefully, these tips might inspire you, might help you in your learning, on your learning journey as well. The first method that I have been implementing is input, a lot of input. So I have been consuming a ton of content. I have been having a ton of listening practice. And I have to be really grateful to Mila, her channel, Spanish Boost with Mila, because predominantly I've been consuming her content, which is specifically tailored for learners of Spanish.
Fue muy extraño, pero una experiencia muy divertida.
Sí, vamos a dar vuelta. Gente, creo que está funcionando.
And it's really convenient for me right now. First of all, I don't know, I just find her personality enticing, comforting. I really like her content because it gives off some cozy vibes. I just like her. I like the atmosphere that she's creating on her channel. It's kind of inviting and cozy, as I said. And she also, as I mentioned, she has designed the channel for Spanish learners. So she speaks slowly, she enunciates everything. It's really easy to understand her, even if you're a beginner. And if, like myself, you feel like that you're ready for another level, you can just speed her videos up and that's it. I've also been watching some videos of Mila's partner, and I've just recently checked out his channel as well. The name of the channel is Spanish Boost with Martin, and I find him entertaining as well, and probably I will be watching his content as well, especially because his content is tailored to Spanish learners as well. I've been watching some other channels, but it has been pretty sporadic. But if I'm talking about constant consumption, constant input, I have to single out Mila's channel. And as I mentioned before, it's not a chore for me. I just put her video on in the background and I do some chores around the house, for example, or I can work out, or I can, basically, I do something physical. If I do something physical, I just put a video on in the background and I listen to it and I realize that I understand a lot. Normally, I understand like 99% at this point. Of course, it is specifically designed for learners of Spanish, but still, there are some words that I might not know, which are pretty understandable in the context. So it's just a really great way to start your learning journey. Just highly recommend this channel if you want to learn Spanish. It's just so easy for me to listen to a lot of content nowadays in Spanish. It's never been a chore for me. Like, I do it for pleasure. And if you're feeling lazy to learn something, to open a textbook or to do an exercise or to write an essay or whatever, you can just put on a video without any effort. So that's the beauty of input. You are learning, maybe not as fast if you are implementing some productive techniques, but still you are learning the language. And I really noticed my progress because when I just started, I remember putting on a video by Valentina. I will show her channel right now. She is a booktuber, and her content is not for Spanish learners. It's just a channel about reviewing books, basically. She speaks really fast. She's a native speaker. She's from Mexico, I believe.
Hola libreros, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos una vez más al canal. Tenía muchas ganas de hacer este video porque uno piensa que el camino ha sido fácil, que comenzamos siendo lectores y que todo fluyó y que no nos costó trabajo. Hay algunos casos en los que sí, todo fue más fácil, más sencillo.
When I just started out, I would put on a video of hers, and I realized that I didn't understand pretty much anything, maybe 20%, because of my background. Like, I know a little bit of Italian, I know English, and sometimes words can be similar, or something is easy to understand in the context. But overall, I didn't understand much. Lately, I've decided to check it out again, her channel. I just clicked on some random video or a recent video, and for me it was so surprising to realize that I understood, okay, maybe not everything, but the majority of information. I understood almost everything, maybe 80%, 85%. Or if we talk about the context, I understood pretty much everything. Because sometimes I might not know words, yes, some words, but they didn't really inhibit me from understanding the full picture. So for me, it's been a real game changer, consuming a lot of content. And by the way, I don't know if it works in the same way if you consume not audio, but you consume texts, you read a lot. I guess it's much harder, to be honest, because if you want to read something, you have to, first of all, know how all the words look like. You have to know how to pronounce them, I suppose, and yeah, you have to know how to read. And you have to have some extra time for this, because I don't spend any extra time while listening to content in Spanish, because I just multitask. I put it on the background, so there is literally little effort. There is like zero effort from my side when I consume content, when I have this listening practice. The second method that I have been implementing is writing a diary, keeping a journal. And for the record, I've been keeping a journal for 5 years now, going on 6. I've been keeping this in English. I'm Russian, but I've been keeping my journal in English. I've been making my entries in English. And I've been doing this with my left hand, even though I'm a righty, but it's a topic for another video. I will not go into details here. Will not dwell on it. And like recently, it just dawned on me, why don't I start writing my entries in Spanish? Like, for me, it sounds very interesting nowadays to write. I mean, not, okay, maybe it's interesting. It's been interesting for me to write stuff down in English, but maybe there is not much incentive to do it, because I kind of know English, and for me it's more like a native language nowadays. And it all started out as some extra practice. I mean, I started keeping a journal as some extra practice and to train my left hand. I don't know why I wanted to do it. I'm just still doing this because of, I don't know, it's just something automatic. It's just something so natural to me. It's a habit of mine that has stuck and I can't really get rid of it. It's just like second nature to me. And again, it's not even a chore. It's just something that I know I have to do every day, and I don't even have any extra thoughts about it. I just had this idea pop in my head. Why don't I start keeping a journal, my journal, in Spanish instead? And I did this. This is my journal of 2026, and I started making entries in Spanish on the 20th of February, writing about my days in Spanish. And it's been more than a month of keeping my journal in Spanish, of writing in Spanish every single day at the end of each day. Of course, for me, it's much more difficult than writing in English, because as I mentioned, English for me, it's like a second language. Like, of course, I'm not a native speaker, but for me, it's really comfortable to do everything in English. Like, I can do anything. I can write in it, I can speak it, I can read it, I can listen to it, I can watch videos in it, etc. So I don't feel intimidated by it. I feel real confident when I have to deal with it. But as for Spanish, of course, it's another kettle of fish. Yeah, it's another thing. For me right now, it's something like not a chore, but a challenge, because each time I have to use Google Translate. I have to maybe Google sometimes if I don't know something. But for the most part, I've been using Google Translate. I don't know if, well, I think nowadays it's pretty good. I mean, Google Translate. It's pretty accurate. And for the most part, I am able to identify whether the word that Google Translate has chosen is appropriate in the context or not. And yeah, so I think it's really nice to have something to write about every day in Spanish, because you practice it every day. And as we know, productive tasks, they're much more challenging and they're much more effective than compared to you consuming something. If you consume something, like for example, you watch videos in Spanish, you listen to something in Spanish, you read Spanish, it's much easier because it was done by someone else and you just absorb the information. Yeah, of course, with analyzing it, with kind of thinking about it, but without much effort. So you can just do it, you can consume it in the background. You don't have to be actively engaged in analyzing it, something like this. So you can just keep it somewhere, you can listen to it, you can be passive. But if you have to produce something, you have to be active. So if you have to speak, if you have to write, of course you have to put in more effort. I think it's been really beneficial for me because I've picked up a lot of words like this. And for example, if I look up some word, maybe the next day I can hear this word in a video by Mila, which maybe help me to transfer one word from the passive vocabulary to active vocabulary. And it's also been a game changer, I believe, because I have to interact with Spanish at least once a day. Even if I don't have the energy, I don't want to, maybe I don't have the time to learn Spanish properly, I can just be sure that at the end of the day, in the evening, I will be interacting with Spanish. I will be writing down something in Spanish in my journal. And this is just great, to be honest. And the last method that I have been implementing is actually having this channel, is posting on this channel. And probably this method, this routine that I have been implementing in my life, it's been the most efficient one, the most effective one, because the whole process of me recording a video, editing it, then posting it, it takes time and effort, and it involves a lot of practice for me. It involves a lot of listening, a lot of like checking the information, looking up words, and a lot of analysis. First of all, like how I do it, how I've been doing it, how I've been posting my videos. First of all, of course, I have to make a video, but in order to record it, I have to make a script, either write a script or I have to at least think about it and rehearse it to myself. As for my first blog videos, kind of blogs, I wrote scripts. So I actually wrote down everything that I was going to say. Then I would check it in DeepSeek or ChatGPT, no, DeepSeek. Then after that, I would rehearse it several times. So it's already a lot of practice. I write down the text with the help of Google Translate, of course. I mean, first of all, I try to write it down myself. Then if I don't know a word, I look it up in Google Translate. Then after writing down the whole text, I check it in DeepSeek. I ask him to find grave mistakes without changing my style or the choice of words, only the grave mistakes. Then I record the video itself, which is always so stressful. I don't know why. And in my first videos, which were like some kind of blogs, I would look at my text all the time. I had a text like on the right now on my screen, and I would look at it from time to time, and sometimes I would even read it, but for the most part I kind of rehearsed it to the point when I was more or less confident with what I had to say. But you know how it works when you have a text at hand, you have this urge, you have this temptation to look at it and to read from it. And that's what I did. I didn't read it, like I didn't read the whole thing, but I had this temptation and I gave in. So it's another chunk of practice, a lot of practice, because I have to rehearse it, I have to record it. And then when it came down to editing my videos, I would just, well, of course, I had to listen to them. I had to listen to the video that I recorded maybe several times because I had to delete the chunks that I don't need, that I didn't need. And if I wasn't sure about some word that I used in the video, I would check it, of course. And if I understood that it was wrong, I would add captions, with the correct collocation, with the correct word, which also kind of contributes to my accumulating this knowledge, my understanding how the language works. I consume more and more, and I understand more and more when something sounds off. And sometimes I'm able to understand whether what I have just said is wrong or not. These are 3 routines that I have been implementing in my life to learn Spanish, and they have been game changers because I can feel it. I can feel my progress right now because I know more and more vocabulary. I'm able to understand more and more and more. And also, I feel more and more confident when speaking Spanish. Of course, it's still low level Spanish, but I feel like I'm able to express more ideas and I can do it a bit faster than I used to at the beginning. Of course, still a lot of preparation was required, but actually nowadays, like my previous video that I will post after this one, I didn't use any text. And the video with sushi, I also didn't use a script, which is great. And of course, it felt kind of challenging at that time, but I think it's much better for me not to use any script, any text before my eyes, not to have this temptation to look at the text, at the prompt. And this is it for today. These are my 3 methods that I have been implementing recently on my learning journey, which I consider to be really, really efficient, that I consider to be game changers. And if you want, you may try them out as well, and probably you will see the difference as well. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye. Ciao.